Hello, how are you? Today I've prepared 3 drink recipes for you to help fight and control fatty liver. These are easy recipes because after all, they're drinks, right? With simple ingredients that are easy for you to find, maybe you already have them at home or you can easily get them at any supermarket nearby. They're affordable, which is also important, and an easy way for you to add these ingredients, scientifically proven to help control fatty liver, into your daily routine. I think it's a practical way too, because it's just once a day. If you take a moment to stop, prepare, and make the recipe, you'll already be able to add these wonderful ingredients. So I'm sure you're going to love it. The third one is my favorite, so stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you if you have fatty liver, if you've had it and managed to improve, or if you're afraid of getting it because someone in your family has a history. Write down here in the comments what your relationship is with fatty liver. So let's get started with our recipes. The first recipe is a shot with green tea, turmeric, ginger, flaxseed, and lemon. I love this shot because it's a very small amount that you need to consume. Some people like to have it in the morning, others prefer to have it in the afternoon. The timing doesn't matter. What's most important is that we're consistent. And studies have already proven the beneficial effects of green tea due to its highly antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, even helping to reduce damage from oxidative injury and fat accumulation in the liver area. Ginger is also very interesting because it acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory in the drink, natural, practical, and one of the most studied anti-inflammatories due to the gingerol and shogaol that are naturally present in it. We also have in this recipe our wonderful turmeric, which has proven anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties as well, because it contains curcumin. This helps, among other things, in controlling inflammation markers, and also with liver enzymes, the enzymes produced in the liver, which are a marker of liver function, to see if the liver is working properly. A lot of people wonder, oh, since you're adding turmeric, you have to add pepper too, right, Patricia? But since this is a drink, I didn't want to add pepper to this recipe. You can add a pinch if you want, but I chose to add flaxseed because the healthy fat in flaxseed helps dissolve the curcumin a bit more and improves its bioavailability. Besides that, it already contains a fat that is a precursor to anti-inflammatory omega-3, which makes the whole process easier. So it also helps with metabolic issues, reducing low-grade inflammation in our bodies, which is closely related to fat accumulation in the liver area. On top of that, it also helps keep the glycemic index more stable because it's a fiber, a healthy fat. So it really helps a lot with metabolic control of the liver. Lemon, on the other hand, in addition to being very rich in vitamin C and having additional bioactive compounds like limonene, for example, which helps fight vascular inflammation and improves liver function, also helps with flavor, making this drink more refreshing and ends up being an excellent addition. It's super easy for you to make. First, you're going to make a tea, right? Using green tea. Take about 1 cup of water, add a teaspoon of green tea, and let it steep for about 15 minutes. Then you can add a bit of ginger and a pinch of ground turmeric to boost the drink's beneficial compounds. If you were using the root, you would need to bring it to a boil, because when we use turmeric and ginger root, we can't just mix it in the glass like that. We have to extract it by decoction. That's why, to make the recipe more practical, I recommend that you use the powder, because that way you can even ingest it more easily. It's much simpler. After about 10 minutes, strain the tea to remove the green tea leaves. Then add the turmeric, the ground ginger as I mentioned earlier, the flaxseed, squeeze in the lemon juice, give everything a good stir, and it's ready to drink. Remember that this drink will have a more citrusy taste because of the lemon, and the green tea gives it a more flavorful, refreshing taste. If you want, you can add a few drops of stevia. Try it without anything first and see how you like it, because for some people it turns out quite sour, right, because of the lemon. If you feel it's really necessary, you can add a few drops of stevia. Just don't add sugar because sugar makes the issue of liver fat worse, okay? Ideally, we should really avoid it. Remember that to use flaxseed in the drink, you need to grind it first so it turns into a flour and hydrates, making it more palatable and also allowing you to access more of its bioactive compounds. The second recipe is a drink based on milk thistle tea with green tea, ginger, and apple cider vinegar. Milk thistle is an herb that has been widely studied for liver health because it naturally contains silymarin, which is actually the main ingredient in many liver-protecting supplements sold in health food stores, online, and so on. But this silymarin here comes from a natural source and it has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties which help regulate and normalize liver enzymes and improve overall liver function. I have an entire video here on the channel talking more about milk thistle, which really is a tea closely linked to liver health. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Green tea, as I mentioned earlier, combines with milk thistle to provide a large amount of antioxidants, acts on the metabolic side, and also helps prevent the accumulation of fat in the visceral, central, and abdominal regions. Lemon once again stimulates bile, improves vitamin C levels, helps detoxify the body, and has that nice tangy flavor that cuts a bit of the taste of the herbs. So I always like to add lemon to these drinks, not just because of the bioactive compounds, but also for the taste, which I think is really delicious. Once again, we use ginger. I like to use it in powdered form to make preparation easier. And in this way, the ginger, because of the gingerol and shogaols, helps reduce oxidative stress, as I mentioned to you. And to finish, I like to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to this drink. We know about its role as an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, even helping as a complement to regulate blood sugar levels and improve insulin sensitivity, which helps prevent the accumulation of fat in the visceral central abdominal region as well. To make this drink, I like to add 1 teaspoon of green tea and 1 teaspoon of milk thistle to a glass of boiling water. Then I mix in powdered ginger as well and wait about 15 minutes for everything to infuse, blend, and take effect. I give it a good strain, and then I mix in the juice of half a lemon and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. You don't need to add too much, otherwise it will become undrinkable. It'll be hard for you to consume since vinegar is really very sour. And once again, it's that same story. It's like a shot, a drink for you to take kind of quickly. It's not something to savor, like a wonderful chamomile tea. The idea is to get the benefits. So if you find it difficult, you can add some ice cubes to make it easier to drink, or wait for it to cool down a bit. I think sometimes it's easier when the drink is at room temperature or cold, because when it's too hot, we take longer to sip it, it stays in your mouth longer, right? So maybe those sour flavors end up bothering you more. But there are many benefits, that's why I like this drink. And once again, if you want to add a few drops of stevia to make it more palatable, that's totally fine. The third drink is also a tea that I make with chamomile, dandelion, then I add turmeric, a little coconut oil, and once again my favorite, lemon. Chamomile is something we don't usually associate with the liver, right? And it's very common. I think everyone has chamomile at home, right? And it contains powerful compounds like luteolin and apigenin, which have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties and can protect liver cells against damage and free radicals. It also helps as a complement to regulate blood sugar levels, fights insulin resistance, and makes the body accumulate less fat around and inside the liver itself. So chamomile is truly wonderful, besides calming us down and being very tasty. Dandelion is another herb that I really like to use. It is rich in flavonoids and taraxacin and acts as an excellent hepatoprotective tonic, stimulating bile flow and strengthening the liver itself, right? Strengthening this very important organ. Turmeric acts, once again through curcumin, as I explained to you before, which is highly anti-inflammatory. And I like to use coconut oil here because it contains that very interesting fat, medium-chain triglycerides, which is a type of fat that provides satiety, glycemic stability, and it doesn't need to be metabolized to be used by the liver as an energy source. So it's really quite interesting actually sparing this organ from extra digestive work. And the lemon once again brings in vitamin C and its bioactive compounds. So this is how I like to do it. I first make a tea with chamomile, turmeric, and dandelion. If you want to add a pinch of black pepper to this drink, you can, but it's not really necessary because there will be coconut oil, as I mentioned before, just a little bit. So the proportions are basically the same for all of these teas, about 1 teaspoon of the dried herb for every cup of boiling water. It's a simple ratio that works well for preparing most herbal infusions. Then mix in the turmeric right there, wait about 15 minutes, and strain it. After that, you can add a teaspoon of coconut oil. It doesn't need to be much. And the juice of half a freshly squeezed lemon. It tastes really good too. And like I told you, there's the coconut oil that helps solubilize and absorb the curcumin, so it's also very balanced from a nutritional standpoint. These drinks are really wonderful, and as you've seen, they have some very interesting active compounds. You can have one a day, you can switch it up. You don't need to drink all 3 together, okay? Just have one on one day, another on another day, so you can keep switching it up. Choose the time that works best for you so you can be consistent. For some people, it's breakfast. For others, it's an afternoon snack. Later, let me know what works best for you. And remember, this drink will help a lot, but it won't replace a balanced diet, physical exercise, avoiding alcohol, which we know is very harmful to the liver. So remember that I have a playlist here with everything about the liver, with lots of tips, ideas, and recipes. There's one about foods in the liver, where I talk specifically about a certain food, how it can improve or worsen liver health. This playlist is really cool, and I'll leave it down below in the description as well. If you can, I'd like to ask you to like the video. It means a lot to me. And also to share it with anyone you think might enjoy it. Let's grow this chain of kindness. This is what I want here on the channel. See you next time. Bye.